what the heck is this? Well, you've seen the title of the video, so you probably do know what this is, but let's go ahead and open it up. Before I do that, hello everyone, welcome to the video. My name is Steven and I am a second year dental student. And in this video, I've got a very, very exciting unboxing for you and some first impressions. Oh, I'm just so pumped. I can't wait any longer. I'm getting into it. Let's do this. I couldn't film this video immediately upon getting the package here, so it has just been sitting around waiting for me to open it, and it's been absolutely just killing me. Suspense is ridiculous. All right, so first thing, just a couple of information cards here. And yes, that is right. These are the Lumadent Ergoprism Loupes. Absolutely super excited about these. First things first, got some packaging here. Ooh, that was loud. So here is the loupes in the packaging. This is the loupes in their carrying case. And the first thing that I've noticed here is my nameplate, and you can see it right there. Dr. Stephen P. Ray, DDS. I'm not a doctor yet, still have 2 years, but I figured I would have these for a while. The carrying case is nice and simple. It's also looks to be very protective. So that's gonna be a positive automatically. And it has foam on the inside, kind of reminds me of a Pelican case. I'm sure that's gonna be very protective for it, especially as I carry it and transport it around in dental school. So this is a quick information card on the light package, the Pro Lux LED headlight package there from Lumadent. Interested to see how that works out. First thing on top is our cleaning pad or our cleaning cloth. These are gonna come with any pair of loupes that you get. We also have a quick setup guide from Lumadent here. I'm sure this will be very helpful here in a second when I go ahead and try to get these set up. Everything else is right in here. As you can see, just all of it in its wonderful glory. First thing that I wanna do is check out the loupes themselves, because those are obviously the most exciting part. And we'll pull those guys out and oh baby. These are slick, these are clean. Oh yeah. So these are the Lumadent Ergoprism Loupes, and they're in a 5X, which is 5 times magnification. I will talk a lot about this, but basically that is the loupe and it's looking absolutely amazing. Now, just putting them on here, I can tell you automatically there is gonna be a little bit of adjusting to do, and I'll talk about this more as I move forward. The first impression, just having put them on, is that the optics are a little bit low in the actual frames. So I think somehow I'm gonna need to adjust these up, and there should be ways to do that with the frames themselves to make sure that the optics are perfectly centered on my eyes and that my field of view is perfect. But on face value, these look amazing. First off, I got the classic frame in black. I thought that was just the best looking frame that they had, in my opinion, and I didn't want to get too crazy, so I went with the classic. And then the 5X loupes. Once again, I'll talk more about this, but this is going to be the highest magnification that they offer in the Ergoprism, and I'm pumped about this for many reasons. Also, the construction is insane. These things feel very sturdy, very solid, and this is important, especially with what I've noticed throughout my past 2 years in dental school. You need a loupe that's gonna be strong and it's gonna hold up, especially with how much wear and tear we put onto these things, constantly pulling them on and off. We've got all sorts of different things flying around in a dental office. There's just a lot of importance that goes behind the structure, the integrity of the build quality of these things. So I want to check out everything else that is in this box before I start to actually try and get these loupes fit and working for me. So first we have a couple of cords. I think if I'm not mistaken, these are going to be for the headlight package. I believe these are identical. 2 cords for the headlight system. This is really nice because headlight cords also tend to take a lot of wear and tear. One issue that I've already experienced with my oroscopic loupes 2 years in is that the cord is specifically starting to short out a bit, but 2 cords right out of the box is a really nice addition to have. So this right here is going to be the headlight battery itself, and very simple here. So I'll show you this. Just a very simple battery setup. It's nice and light. I think this will be very easy to clip onto my scrubs and just to deal with that way. You can also see the power button on top there. And the other things in the box, we have the charger for the battery. That's number 1. And then we have a couple of other things. Side shields. These are important. They may not look all that cool, But side shields are very important, especially if we're doing really anything in dentistry. There's a lot of things in dentistry that can pop up and fly at your face. You do not want anything coming in from the side. If your assistant's working on something or whatever it may be, side shields are important. Then we have the headlight itself. I'll show you this right here. That is the headlight. We're gonna have to put that together, which will be totally cool. And you can also see the orange composite filter there for when you're working with composite. Next, we have a lanyard. Very, very important, very nice to have a lanyard on your loupes. Very simple here, just black and gray. These are great, so you can just wear your loupes around your neck and then pop them up on when you wanna wear them. But I'm very, very excited here. I'm just gonna go ahead and put the loupes together, kind of mess around with them for a little bit and see if I can get just this initial fitment concern or issue fixed, and then I will check back up with you.
These are gonna work.
So first impressions, these are gonna be awesome. I wanna take them back to the apartment and talk about them more, but just here in the lab, it's been a night and day difference so far. Just using these and sitting straight up with my eyes straight forward, neck straight up. It's just good. This is gonna be a game changer, I think. So I'm excited about these loupes. And let me take you back to the apartment so I can do a full breakdown of my first impressions of the Ergoprisms. So let's talk Ergoprisms. And before I get into this, I want to just say massive, massive thank you to Lumadent and specifically Sierra. The experience of working with Lumadent to give you guys this video, to get my hands on these loupes, and just this whole process has been wonderful. I'm absolutely thrilled to be doing this, and I'm super excited to make a big series of videos about these loupes over the next couple of months. But I do want to get right into my thoughts. This is not going to be a full review video. Something like that will be coming in about a month or two. For now, I just want to give you my off-the-cuff reaction to wearing these loupes for the first time, some of my overarching thoughts on the loupes, and maybe from that you can decide if these are for you. The first and most important topic that I wanted to discuss in terms of these loupes is actually the ergonomics. Now, the reason that you would buy these loupes in the first place versus a traditional loupe is ergonomics. The whole point is to save your back and your neck. The way these loupes do this is by getting rid of a concept called the declination angle. The declination angle is essentially the distance between your eyes and the object on which you're working. It's this angle that's created when you have to look down at your hands, basically. And in a traditional loupe, the optics are set into the frames so that they're on an angle, which causes your head to have to tilt down and stare at the object that you're working on. The point of the Ergoprisms is to get rid of that declination angle, and they basically use a prism to bounce light around and allow you to be sitting straight up with your eyes straight forward, and it does the work for you. And this is an absolutely wild concept to me, but it makes so much sense. So much of the strain that we dentists go through is just looking down for hours at a time, and specifically having that tilt in our neck for many, many hours. It doesn't seem like a whole lot, but that angle right there between all the way straight up and down just a little bit, especially over many, many years, can have a major impact on your neck. When wearing these loupes, you're sitting perfectly straight up. Your head and your neck are perfectly straight up with great posture, and this is absolutely mind-blowing to me. I've been doing dentistry for 2 years now, which granted isn't all that long, but just in using these loupes for a few hours, I realized they're game changers. They're game changers because for the first time ever, I could sit comfortably while doing dentistry. I felt like I was literally just sitting there relaxing and just doing my work down below. And I mean, it's kind of hard to describe. It's certainly different. It's certainly strange at first, but I really do think that this is going to be massive for people in our generation who are exposed to these loupes at a young age. Back and neck problems are rampant among dentists, and these are the first real life solution that I have seen to combat these issues. I just think it's wonderful, and I'm so honored and blessed to be able to have these in my hands and use them, and to use them for my whole career, because I think that these are going to be a mainstay for me in my dental career. The ergonomics are great. Now, I did mention at the beginning of this video when I first tried the loupes on that there were some fitment concerns that I had. that is probably going to be natural. I do want to mention that I used the Lumadent Ergo Fit Kit, which essentially, if you're not able to get in person with a Lumadent rep, they're going to send you a Fitment kit, and you take a couple pictures, you measure out a few things, and based on those pictures, relatively simple and easy process, they're going to be able to create your loupes for you. And in that process, they're not going to be super 100% dialed in and accurate right out of the box. There's going to be a little bit of adjustment, but thankfully for me, that adjustment was very easy. I'll get to this in the optics section in a second. The view is good. I wouldn't say it's 100% perfect for me. In other words, I don't think my adjustment is perfect just quite yet, but I did mess with the nose piece and allowed the loupes as a whole to sit a little higher on my face, and that pretty much fixed the issues that I was having when I first tried them on. Overall, the ergonomics alone are the reason to buy these loupes, and I think that the ergonomics are good enough to justify the purchase. It's as simple as that. I don't even need multiple videos to say that. I think that is just my whole point about these loupes. If you want to save your neck over many years of practicing dentistry, I think this is really going to be the answer. Now let's move on to optics, because let's face it, the whole point of loupes is to see better, is to see sharper, clearer at a greater distance. Now the first thing that I wanted to address is just the magnification. I actually requested that Lumadent send me a 5x loupe because I've been using a pair of 3.5x oroscopic loupes for the past couple of years, and I've found that in certain situations, specifically crown and bridge, I've been wanting a little bit more magnification in my loupes. So I had Lumadent send me the 5Xs. Once again, thank you, Sierra and Lumadent, you guys are amazing. And I was interested to see just how much more zoomed in I could get my vision. I was slightly disappointed, not disappointed, but just interested to see that the 5X wasn't as zoomed in as I thought it might be. Now, the reason for this is because, once again, the whole loupe is based off of a prism, which is bouncing light around, and in the process of bouncing light around, you're going to lose a little bit of magnification. I found that compared to my 3.5x oroscopic loupes, the 5x Lumadents are basically about the same magnification, if not slightly further zoomed in, but they're not what I would think a traditional 5x loupe would be. And I've actually tested this out with a classmate's 5x loupe. They're not quite as zoomed in. So that's just something to note. If you're gonna buy a pair of Ergoprisms, understand that you're going to lose some magnification based in reference off of a traditional loupe. So if you want more magnification, you might have to go up a little bit compared to what you think you would get. Another big note about the optics in these loupes, the field of view is a lot smaller and more compact than a traditional loupe. Once again, this has to do with the prism of the loupes. In the process of moving light around, we're also losing field of view. So in other words, the circle of basically image that you see when you're looking through the loupes is a little bit more small and constricted compared to a traditional loupe like my oroscopics, which are pretty wide open and you can see like basically the whole arch. Does this matter? Honestly, to me, no. I mean, when we're working in the mouth, we're working on one tooth at a time and we don't necessarily need to see the whole arch. Maybe if you're a hygienist and you're trying to kind of rapidly move around to get calculus on multiple teeth, then you want to see more of the arch. But in that case, you wouldn't be wearing a 5x loupe anyways. So really losing all that open space in your field of view is not all that big of a drawback. In terms of the quality of the optics, I do think they're good. They're not quite as crystal clear as maybe my oroscopic loupes, and that also could have something to do with just my adjustment, which I do think there's gonna have to be a continual process of adjustment with these loupes. But the image is really solid, and especially paired with this light, which is great, the image is perfect. I really wouldn't complain about it at all. There is a tiny bit of haloing around the image, which once again, I think that could be related to the adjustment more so than the optics themselves. But overall, the optics are solid, and once again, the ergonomics of this loupe justify everything else about it. If there are any slight drawbacks or minor things about these loupes in just the construction, the optics, like literally anything, I think all of those things are made up for and more by the ergonomics. The last thing that I wanted to talk about quickly in this video is just the overall build quality of the loupe. Generally speaking, 100% thumbs up. The frames themselves, the optics, all really solid. The light itself seems very solid to me. And once again, you get 2 cords with these loupes, which I think is a great thing. You also have this sort of switch over on the side here. These aren't plugged in, but we do have a switch which allows you to turn the light on and off from up here instead of having to reach down to your battery, which I think is a really cool feature. The build quality is generally great. The only thing about the build quality that kind of irks me a bit is the side shields. The side shields are basically just sort sort of a cheap plastic material and you just kind of pop them on. And as you can see from my testing videos, the side shields move around quite a bit, especially when you're on and off with the loupes. So mine were kind of pulled all the way back and weren't actually protecting my face. Just in comparison to my oroscopic loupes, you can see that oroscopic puts on a nice thick permanent plastic piece for their side shields. So I think Lumadent should consider looking into something like this, just a more permanent option, something that's gonna stay in place, something that maybe looks a little bit better, a little bit more professional than maybe these cheap plastic ones. But that's the only minor concern that I had in terms of build quality. I think these loupes look and feel like they're going to last forever, which is hopefully my objective with these loupes. I hope to use them for many, many years into my career. And so I think the build quality is going to support that goal. Hey friends, that's really all I wanted to talk about in this video because I don't want it to be too long, but I have so much more to talk about with these loupes. If you wanted just sort of an overall thought, an overall conclusion from this video, it is first impressions and unboxing. But basically, I think these loupes are amazing and I'm super, super excited to continue using them, to continue to understand how they function, how they work, what my workflow will be in the future. One thing that was really funny was everybody in my class was looking at me kind of funny and they were like, are you working right now? Like, it looks like you're looking straight forward, but you're actually moving the handpiece, or like, what is going on over there? And I'm like, yeah, these are new loupes and they're amazing. You should check them out. Lumadent is dope. But that's really it. Once again, there's gonna be multiple videos about these loupes coming in the future from me. I have a whole slate of videos planned, just sort of clinical updates, the way that the loupes are functioning for me, how they've been after multiple months of use. And if you want to see these videos and you want to hear more of my thoughts, really a more fleshed out and well thought out video and review in the future, make sure that you subscribe to this channel and turn on the bell notifications so that when I upload a video, you get a notification to your phone that says, hey, Steven uploaded a video and it's specifically about the Lumadents and I want to see those. Basically, turn on the bell for notifications, subscribe. Also, let me know what you think about these loupes. Are you interested in getting them yourself? Are you basically a pre-dental student or a future first-year dental student and you're considering loupe options? Let me know down in the comments if you want to ask some questions about these loupes and if you should buy them. I would love to field those questions down in the comments, so let me know. And friends, that's all I have for you in this video. Once again, thank you so much to Lumadent for making this entire process possible, and I'm super excited to continue talking about these loupes in the future. Friends, as I always say at the end of my videos, I will see you in the next one.